Social media can cause more harm than it can good. There are some very negative consequences that come with having a social media account. Social media has become a part of almost everyone's routine, and most people can't put their phones down for a second. Most people sleep with their phone in their hand, and the first thing you do when people wake up is they look at their phone to see what's going on their social media account. This can be damaging to the mind and body. Social media can cause adverse effects such as dangerous challenges, cyberbullying, and even eating disorders. Social media makes it much easier for kids to bully each other nowadays. When kids are looking at a phone screen rather than face-to-face interaction, people can be a lot more malicious, especially when they can't see the person on the other side of the phone who's reading these nasty comments. Children as young as 5 years old now have phones, so cyberbullying is starting to happen to kids much younger nowadays. This behavior is extremely dangerous, very common, and it can end in somebody ending their life. According to stopbullying.gov, digital devices offer an ability to immediately and continuously communicate 24 hours a day, so it can be difficult for children experiencing cyberbullying to find relief. And most information communicated electronically is permanent and public. If reported and removed, a negative online reputation, including for those who bully, can impact college admissions, employment, and other areas of life. Secondly, social media can have very serious effects on body image and self-esteem. Most people on social media use a filter to change their appearance or Photoshop, which can be very damaging to young girls' minds, even women's minds. People will use these filters to take flaws out of pictures, and young girls want to look like these unrealistic photos. Unfortunately, this has very adverse effects. It causes girls to develop anorexia nervosa and/or bulimia to match these unrealistic body standards. Eating disorders are life-threatening, and it is so harmful to young girls. It causes people to rely on these Photoshop applications to feel good about themselves. Social media is ruining young girls' self-esteem. According to JustSayYes.org, their mental perception of what they look like can become distorted, leading them to engage in risk behaviors when they feel they don't measure up to the impossible goals set in front of them. Media's effect on body image can cause self-image issues, which can lead to eating disorders, drug and alcohol use, cutting, bullying, and sexual risk behaviors. Lastly, social media can often be home to a plethora of dangerous, life-threatening trends. The youth of America see these challenges and want to follow suit. Some of these challenges, such as the Tide Pod Challenge, where kids were eating Tide Pods and getting very sick, hospitalized. A lot of kids even died from this. There was also the Bird Box Challenge. In this challenge, people were driving their vehicles blindfolded. The Outlet Challenge. For this challenge, people would partially be plugging a cell phone charger into an outlet and then dropping a coin into the gap between the prongs on the charger. They did this to see if sparks would come out of the outlet in the wall. The Benadryl Challenge is where people would take in upwards of 12 Benadryl tablets at one time, claiming there are hallucinatory effects. People were overdosing on this medication and ending up in the hospital. These examples of social media challenges are only a few of them, and all the challenges named can lead to death or serious health complications. According to healthychildren.org, teens' brains are still developing. The part of the brain that handles rational thought, the prefrontal cortex, is not fully developed until the mid-20s. This means teens are naturally more impulsive and likely to act before thinking through all of the ramifications. With all of these factors in mind, the bad outweighs the good on social media. Social media is a very dangerous place that can have bad consequences. People need to be more careful when on these websites. Social media clearly causes people to have low self-esteem, try life-threatening challenges. Young children are exposed to cyberbullying, and cyberbullying is also way more common over the internet than in person.